Get ready for a rollercoaster episode, wrestling fans. We're diving into stories you won't believe and debates that'll have you picking sides.
First up, WWE's Elimination Chamber is heading somewhere surprising. It could be a game changer. We've got all the juicy details on what's coming and what's going down and where it's going down. Plus, one wrestling legend is sharing some brutally honest advice for a current star. And let's just say it's not sugar-coated. Are we about to see a major shake-up? But that's not all. A brand new championship has been revealed and it's sparking big conversations. We'll tell you everything you need to know.
And things are heating up with Liv Morgan. We're asking the question, is Liv really WWE's MVP? It's a debate that might just shake up some opinions. And finally, I'll be dropping a top 3 that's sure to get you talking. Plus, I've got a Rebook challenge you won't see coming.
So don't miss it. Hit that subscribe button, stay tuned, and let's get into it because you're listening to The Burning Truth, and we're just getting started. Hey, it's Scott Barrett and welcome to the next episode of The Burning Truth. And as always, I'm joined by the bearded enigma himself, a man whose facial hair could headline any WrestleMania. It's Matt Burns, everybody.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the whole the beer that could headline WrestleMania because I think I've done that twice in a row now, but it just feels right.
It just fits, doesn't it? It just shoehorns itself in.
Matt, you're killing me.
Why is that?
You're killing me because for the third week in a row, we're doing this on the internet, over Teams, over Zoom, over Skype. I miss you, dude. I miss you being in the same room.
I know, but I'm doing it for your safety. For your safety. For your safety. But before you ask me the important question, Scott, how are you?
Oh, that's nice, mate. Thanks for thinking of me. I'm all right, you know. I've had a pretty good week. I've been doing loads of different stuff, but the highlight, I've been watching my lad play football this morning, which was nice. Good game this morning. And then over dinner time, we watched the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Harry Potter. Shout out Big Harry. So we've been watching them over the last, 10 weeks now, like just every now and again at the weekend, putting one on, especially as the weather's got a bit colder. And it's been lovely. So the four of us watched the last Harry Potter today, which was nice. Good times. And then after that, just got to see the mighty Man United win 3-0 over Leicester as well at home. So, it's been a good week for me, Matt Burns. What about you?
For me, it's been a bit of a quiet one. Well, a bit of an unwell one because I've been off unwell due to illness, which I'm not going to disclose what it is because I don't want to be passing it over to yourself. That's why.
Is that why they call it a computer virus? In case I get it.
Love it. Love it. No, I'm just playing it safe. Just don't pass it on to anybody. However, I will say for this week, it annoys me because I'm with me being unwell, with the fact that Friday was a special day.
Yeah.
A very special day. Especially for TBT, The Burning Truth.
Go on then. Why?
The reason why is because it was the anniversary.
Oh, wow.
The anniversary. And the scary thing about it is, now some people can sit there saying, is it the 9th, is it the 10th, whatever, depending on when, and everything. It started officially 10 years from Friday to 2 days ago. It's officially right now, The Burning Truth has been running for 10 years and 2 days.
So this is the 10-year anniversary of The Burning Truth?
Yeah.
Holy moly. Well, do you know what? I've only been a small part of that. I think this is my 12th episode since we regenerated the podcast this summer. But I think, for me, brilliant that you've been doing it on and off for 10 years. And I think building a quality brand. And I think Matt Burns should be really, really proud of being able to do something like this for 10 years. I think that's great.
10 years is just, I just sit there and think to myself, how have I not gone insane?
But more importantly, here's to another amazing 10 years on The Burning Truth, right?
Definitely. So,
do you want to shout out any former co-hosts that have made this possible over time? Maybe all of them, to be fair,
pretty much all
after
of them.
10 years. Yeah.
All of them. Although I will need to give a bit of a special shout out to the very first one I did it with, because he was actually the one who convinced me to start it. Which, as I will say, I'm just trying to remember the original intro I used to do for him as well.
All right, okay.
The man, the myth, the legend, Nathan Gopp.
Yeah, well done, Nathan, if you're listening. And I think, for me, I don't know if we've told this story on the pod yet, Matt, but it was probably this summer when I messaged you and I was looking for a bit of advice because I was looking at starting my own podcast. And we were having a chat about it. And I said, I've been thinking about doing it. I even had some graphics, etc., made for what I was going to do.
I remember.
And you said, because the Burning Truth had been taking a hiatus probably about 12 months, hadn't it? And you said, I've been thinking about bringing it back, but I'm not sure, and I'm not sure what the future is for it. And I was talking about my worries about doing a podcast on my own, because I think it's a lot easier when you've got somebody to bounce off. And it was your idea, actually, of, well, why don't we do the Burning Truth? Why don't we restart the Burning Truth together, if you like? And, for me, 12 episodes in, I'm having the most fun. I want you to know that, and I think it's been brilliant. So, for me, I'm really proud to be part of this, and bring on the next 10 years. I think we're going to do some amazing things, not just in the podcast space, but in the YouTube space as well, because we're branching out, aren't we?
Exactly. We can call these the Scarlet years or the Scarlet era.
Oh well, let's just go with Barrett for now, eh?
Barrett for now, yeah, definitely.
Let's not know everybody. Let's not let everybody know me. What do they call it?
What your cousin?
Me alter ego. You know what I mean?
Let's keep that on the down low. I thought it was your cousin.
No cousins. The alter ego, the Bruce Wayne to my Batman. That's great, Matt. It's probably enough reminiscing though, because normally at this point we move on to.
Oh, of course. Of course, we've got to get straight into the best bit, which is none other than the news.
So just sit tight, don't blow a fuse, because now it's time for this week's news.
This just in, everybody. The news!
The news.
The news. Where we give out our regular weekly news articles. We've got 3 interesting articles to talk about, haven't we? So, Scott.
Loads and loads.
So, Scott, where are we hitting first?
Well, let's talk about WWE Elimination Chamber, and let's talk about it heading back to Canada, So it's been announced that the Elimination Chamber in 2025, we initially thought we might be getting this in the UK, but it's now been confirmed that it'll take place at the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Canada, in March, on the 1st of March 2025. As per the company, this marks the 2nd consecutive year that the Elimination Chamber has been held in an international stadium, and again, not for the first time in the last few years as well. The Elimination Chamber heading to Canada. I think last time it was there, we got the main event, Sami versus Roman. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Last time the Elimination Chamber was in Canada in the build-up to WrestleMania 39. So, 2 years actually since we've had the Elimination Chamber in Canada. And with War Games coming up in Canada at the end of this month, loads more PLEs in Canada, twice in, what'll that be, 4 or 5 months? So, really good news for our Canadian brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we've got for the second article, we've got Booker T, who's handing out some advice, especially to Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, who've been teaming with each other since 2016, and didn't gain any significant momentum until being rebranded as the Street Profits a year later. The pair went on to win the NXT Tag Team titles before establishing themselves as one of the most must-see acts on Raw following the draft in October 2019. More championship gold followed on the red brand, and then moving on swiftly over to SmackDown as the Street Profits became the 2nd ever Triple Crown Tag Team champions as well. Now, raise a cup, to that, because that is a good, solid.
It's funny that you say raise a cup. Carry on.
Of course. I know. That's why I did it. Foreshadowing. However, Ford has regularly been linked with a singles run, and it seems he's had an eye on bigger and better things. During a recent interview, Montez Ford admitted he was frustrated with seemingly being passed over for new signings by both fans and those backstage. While some have sympathised with his situation, not everyone agrees. Now, in regards to this, Booker T shared his thoughts on Montez Ford, which during a recent episode of his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T responded to Ford's comments and delivered some rather blunt advice.
What did he say?
Which goes, get rid of the damn cop, that might help. Booker T said, Ford is one of my guys, man. I like him. He's an extraordinary talent, but he's got to know how to break out. You've got to know how to make your own breaks. Booker T then went on to recall his own history as a tag team star alongside Stevie Ray under the Harlem Heat. The pair were incredibly successful and are fondly remembered as one of the best tag teams the company ever saw. And if I'm not mistaken, even got a Hall of Fame rings because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken. And, the veteran explained that he felt that he could have found single success during the 9-year run, but waited it out until the time was right. Booker then suggested that Ford should follow a similar path. I think Tez is in, basically he's in a great spot to where he can, finally do and go into singles, but he'll still have a lot of bumps left on his bump card before he reaches that predominantly gold,
Oh, right. So saying something along the lines of, like, he's saying that when he does finally go to singles, he'll have a lot of bumps left, is what he's saying, sort of thing.
Pretty much. And who knows, all the bumps he could take and everything, eventually could even lead to some championships.
Oh, right. And speaking of championships, that leads me nicely, intentionally or not, Matt Burns, into my last piece of news, right? And that is the new WWE Women's US title's been revealed. So we knew we were going to get some sort of mid-card Women's Championship over the next 6 months. We've seen that coming for a while. And it was this week on SmackDown, and no spoilers for the show further on, or massive spoilers for when I do the show review later on. But Nick Aldis unveiled the new WWE Women's United States Championship this week on SmackDown. Now, I will say about the championship, it looks exactly like the normal US Championship. It's a little bit smaller. It's got the white strap, so it's exactly what we would expect from a WWE Women's Championship. Nick Aldis did note that the title would be earned and not given, but it remains to be seen how the inaugural champion will be decided. The commentary team noted that women from both Raw and SmackDown will be able to compete for the gold, and that's really interesting because that indicates that maybe the counterpart Women's Intercontinental Championship that we've been led to believe both shows would get one, the fact that Raw and SmackDown ladies will be able to compete for it makes me think that that might be a little further down the road and maybe not as immediate as the WWE Women's US title. I'm wondering whether the Women's US title is almost testing the waters for this on the main roster. Also, we've got the thing that right now Raw and SmackDown are 2 hours. We get to January, Raw and SmackDown are going to be 3 hours each. And maybe this is just thinking, okay, well, we'll put one in situ now and we'll do one a little bit further down the road when maybe we get to WWE on Netflix. For us in the UK, that's Raw, NXT and SmackDown. For our friends in the US, that's just Monday Night Raw going to Netflix. But even so, loads more wrestling, WWE, TV time for some of these stories, some of these stakes.
Yeah, and it will allow some great wrestling content.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we get into a review of this week's wrestling?
Yeah, let's get into it. But just as we've always usually do, do you mind if I just hit off with AEW you just mentioned about the blog?
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah, pretty much. As you can probably gather, I am a little bit behind on the blog due to being unwell, unfortunately, but I will be catching that back up very, very quickly because I've got quite a lot to say. However, with what I've already what I've already put out, I've already actually had some feedback, and I will say it has been taken on board already. Some of the information that's already been gathered and already shifted.
Oh, right, so Tony Khan's taking note of your blog already, mate.
No, I've already.
We knew it would happen. We knew it would happen.
But the thing is, the one thing I will say that's most important about it is the format. As we originally said, we originally said it was all going to be on one blog. Nope, that's not the case. We are going to be doing them weekly for the week, simply because I feel as though if we did it all in one blog, it'd take forever to get to the current, because we'd have all the past stuff at the very top and the most recent at the very bottom.
Yeah.
We could have reversed it, but then that would take even longer.
Yeah. That makes total sense, Matt Burns, and I think that people will enjoy that. If you like reading wrestling-related content, then you can get all that at theburningtruthuk.com.
Of course. But anyway, let's get to the WWE, shall we?
Yeah, let's do a quick review of the WWE this week. I'm hoping it doesn't take as long as last week with the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. If you were listening last week and you thought it was going to last forever, it's because there was just so much WWE last week. But this week, the breakdown for Raw on November 4th, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the first ever Monday Night Raw from Saudi Arabia, started with Liv Morgan, and the Women's World Champion, joined by Raquel Rodriguez and Dominic Mysterio. Liv, donning the Crown Jewel Championship ring, boasted about her recent wins and claimed that she is the greatest women's champion of all time. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair confronted Liv, setting up a tense exchange that led to a big tag match tease. Raw GM Adam Pearce interrupted to announce a 16-woman battle royal next to determine Liv's next challenger for the Women's Championship. And that happened straight away. We got the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender. I'm a big fan of a Battle Royal. I think we all know that. I love two types of matches more than any other. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a top two without being asked for a top two, Matt Burns. My two favourite types of matches, Battle Royal and Lumberjack. Don't know why I like them so much, but I bloody do.
They're fun.
I like the one where there's loads of people in the ring, and there's one where there's loads of people out of the ring. That's what I like.
I think it's just your way of just saying you like playing, the floor is lava.
Absolutely. So the number one contender battle royal was packed with stars, including Bianca, Jade, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Raquel, and Liv. Tried to interfere in the match. They eliminated Jade and Bianca Belair from outside the ring, which fears that sort of tag team rivalry that's starting to ignite there. It was Io Sky eventually who emerged victorious after a thrilling finish against Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria keeping herself in the picture again, and Io Sky earns herself a future title shot. So I'm not quite sure how that looks, Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Not sure how excited I am about that off the top of my head, but WWE really likes Io Sky. We know this. Triple H is a big fan, and that's why she continuously gets put in these sort of spots. So at some point on Monday Night Raw, I'm sure we'll get a semi-main event, Liv versus Io.
That's interesting because that's once again heel versus heel.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the minute, isn't there? But I also think that although Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are heels, you can't help but love them. Do you know what I mean?
But then again, I think everyone's loving on a certain Dirty Dom. But that we're referencing the previous week's SmackDown.
Oh yeah, the Tiffy could love a bit of dirty in her life. Right, next we had the New Day tension and the Wyatt Six. So backstage, the New Day argued over last week's loss. This was cut off by an eerie Wyatt Six video where Bo Dallas's Uncle Howdy abducted the Miz. Looks like the Miz has a new and twisted storyline unfolding there. We had tag team action with the War Raiders versus the New Day. And the New Day struggled to stay in sync in this one. Miscommunication between Kofi and Xavier Woods led to a loss, with the War Raiders taking advantage to secure the win. New Day troubles seem to be deepening. We've got there, Matt Burns.
Oh, definitely. And I'll let you continue because I noticed something. Because I will say there's something that's been going on with WWE lately that I've been finding really, really good. And
go on, do it now. Say now.
I'll say it now. All I'll say to you is, when there's certain segments backstage, don't focus on what's in front of the camera directly. Look at the background.
So what did you see this week, Matt Burns? Tell me.
This week, I noticed that during a certain segment, because I know you'll talk about it at some point, when a certain individual who was hunting for the Miz.
Yeah.
Yep. But in the background, you can see the New Day literally falling out massively in the background. And I thought to myself, that is some really, really smart little undertaking there. It's just in the background, but it's visual enough to just catch your eye.
Yeah, 1,000%. So following that, then we got Sami Zayn and the Usos showdown. Sami addressed his issues with the Bloodline in a heartfelt promo, which quickly drew out Jimmy and Jay. While Jay tried to reconcile, Jimmy wasn't buying it. So accusing Sami of betrayal. Jay, however, pleaded for Zayn to join them on SmackDown, suggesting that the story is far from over. Obviously, the night before at Crown Jewel, Sami Zayn accidentally on purpose kicked Roman Reigns in the face with a haluva kick. Then we had the main event, which was the four-way to see who was going to get a shot at Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. And that was Seth freaking Rollins versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Damian Priest versus Sheamus. Banger after banger after banger. In this night's main event, though, Rollins' momentum was cut short by Bronson Reed, who attacked him outside the ring. We're getting more Rollins-Bronson Reed, baby, and I couldn't be happier about it. I love this. In the chaos, Priest managed to take down Dominic with a South of Heaven, which is the chokeslam, sit-out chokeslam, I suppose you can call it. It's like a side effect. Chokeslam into a side effect, and that secured his hard-fought victory and a shot at Gunther's title. So now we know we are going to get Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at some point in the future. I'm here for that as well. I'm not a massive fan of Damian Priest. For me personally, I don't really get the hype. He's okay, but he doesn't grip me. Gunther, though, absolutely, I'm in for every single Gunther match. So
yeah, but even so, I still think that Damian Priest and Gunther have a good chemistry still, which is interesting. Yeah. So that's why I think it'll be really good. And Priest for me is good. I do enjoy him, and it's just going to be unique on what they're going to do with him, seeing as they've sort of got the what was it? The Terror Twins separated. For now.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's not just that. It's that what do we do with him going forward now? If Gunther's going to wrestle somebody like CM Punk or John Cena at WrestleMania, the Bloodline, Cody, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, that side is sort of locked with The Rock and whatever's going to happen over there. Yeah. What does Damian Priest do? He's not floundering. Well, he is sort of floundering as we get closer to WrestleMania. So I wonder what we'll do with him. But, giving him the championship match now is good. I think if I'm thinking about this week's takeaways from Raw, it was packed with action and storyline. Priest win does set up an exciting title clash. So we have got that coming. And the women's division gets a major boost with Io Sky now in the title picture there. We also saw, again, the New Day and the drama brewing there, plus the whole Sami Zayn bloodline. And do you know what? The Ryder crowd actually added some energy to it this week, and WWE didn't disappoint, I don't think, with the first Raw from Saudi Arabia. I was really negative about Saudi Arabia shows when they first kicked off, but I think this Crown Jewel was probably the best one yet, and the Raw was equally as good.
Nope. I'd agree. I'd actually 100% agree. And just before you move on to the next main show, there's normally something in between them, isn't there?
Well, I'm glad you said that, Matt Burns, because if you love NXT and you love The Burning Truth, you do not want to miss out on our NXT reviews and reactions. We're live on YouTube and TikTok at The Burning Truth 251, and this week's NXT brought hardcore energy to the legendary ECW arena in Philadelphia, and it was unforgettable. We kicked things off with a hardcore match featuring Jada Parker and Lola Vice, complete with tables, ladders, and ECW's own Dawn Marie as a special guest referee. We also saw Nunzio make a surprise return and challenge Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship, and RVD stirred up some serious tension with Wes Lee. And the main event, a 10-woman tag team match that blew the roof off the place. NXT Women's Division is the best in the business, and it is on fire. And I haven't even mentioned Ethan Page and Ridge Holland versus Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley. So hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, or find us if you're not at The Burning Truth 251. Follow us on TikTok and join us live every Wednesday morning, and let's break down every epic moment together. See you there. Let's move on to SmackDown, shall we?
Let's.
So, SmackDown this week, Bloodline drama unfolds. Roman kicked off the show, and it was nice to see Roman Reigns on another SmackDown. Feels like he's always on TV at the minute, which is good. He was there alongside Jimmy Uso, and the crowd cheers soon grew louder as Jey Uso and Sami Zayn joined them in the ring. Zayn emotionally addressed the crown jewel incident where he accidentally kicked Reigns, emphasising that he didn't mean to do it. And Zayn pleaded with Roman to restore their bond, even asking for an apology for Jey. Reigns, however, dismissed Sami Zayn, making it clear he's not family, calling on Solo Sikoa to settle things in the ring. And before Solo could appear, Jacob Fatu interrupted on the big screen, announcing that Solo's new role as the Tribal Chief and taunting Reigns, who left frustrated. Backstage tensions with Roman, Jey and Jimmy. So after that sort of opening confrontation, Jey approached Roman Reigns backstage, defending Sami Zayn and issuing an ultimatum saying he'd walk away if Reigns continued his attitude, because Reigns was quite disrespectful to Jey in the moment backstage. Jimmy was visibly confused and torn between his brother and his cousin. We then got Bayley versus Candice LeRae. Let me tell you though, before we do that, Tuesday night, Matt Burns, I was in Nottingham for WWE Live.
Yep.
And we got Nia Jax defending the women's title against Bayley in the cage.
Ooh.
Right? How good is Bayley? I don't think TV does her justice. In person, especially at live events, Bayley was one of the best of the night for me. Bayley and Cody between them were the two best of the night. Absolutely fantastic. But this week on SmackDown, we got Bayley, who took on Candice LeRae in a hard-fought match. LeRae tried faking a knee injury to get the upper hand, but Bayley saw through that tactic, countering with a roll-up for the win after about 9 minutes. What do you think about Bayley?
Bayley. Hey, Bayley. Whoo.
Ah. Yeah. I did get some funny looks from my wife while I chanted that, actually.
I can imagine.
We then got Johnny Gargano encountering the Motor City Machine Guns. So in a backstage segment, Johnny Gargano met up with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, sharing history and mutual respect. However, Ciampa was less friendly, viewing the Guns as rivals who took DIY spotlight, which builds a bit of tension for an upcoming match. Randy Orton called out Kevin Owens, so a fired-up Randy Orton stormed to the ring and called out Kev for a big fight, using some choice words that were muted. Owens responded, charging down to the ring and brawling with Orton. And in a shocking moment, it's funny how a move that was commonplace 30 years ago is now seen as the most dangerous move in wrestling, and they played this really well. Kevin Owens hit a pile driver on Randy Orton, drawing gasps from a crowd and outrage from the commentators. Orton was stretchered out and taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and Cody Rhodes accompanied him. They played it really well. If you haven't seen this, the whole segment was brilliant. They've actually cut this bit of SmackDown and put it on the YouTube, so you'll be able to find it on the WWE's YouTube. But the whole angle, really well done. Next, we got DIY, which is Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus Pretty Deadly. I actually saw this on Tuesday night at Nottingham as well at the Motor Point. This was one of the matches that was on. However, the match was very different on SmackDown because Ciampa, in a fierce mood, dismantled Pretty Deadly single-handedly, ending the match in about 3 minutes without making a tag. Ciampa's aggression hinted as a throwback to his Black Heart days, and Johnny Gargano was just sort of left on the apron like, oh, was really good, really good. Then we had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax and Tiffany. Tiffany Stratton in person, again, saw her on Tuesday night in Nottingham. And a bit anecdotally here, really over as a babyface. Even though she's a heel, super over as a babyface. Turning her sooner rather than later is a really good idea.
Yeah.
So Belair and Cargill, the women's tag team champions, squared off against Nia Jax and Tiffy. Amidst outside interference from Candice LeRae, Belair's KOD to Stratton secured the win after a chaotic 10-minute match. Jax and LeRae seem to be building an alliance, while Stratton may be heading for a face turn, which I've put in my notes there, which is right. You know, I think it's happening. Next, we had the Motor City Machine Guns versus A-Town Down Under. In a competitive tag match, the Machine Guns showcased their chemistry, winning with the signature Skull and Bones move, which is a neck breaker and a splash off the top rope at the same time. Looks really nice. Something that me and Matt Burns could do in the future as a tag team, maybe. After the match, the Street Profits stalked their... they didn't stalk anything, but they staked their claim as the next challengers, setting up a title bout for next week. So the Street Profits are after the tag team titles. We then got the Nick Aldis announcing the new Women's United States Championship, which we talked at length. And then in the closing segment of the night, the Tribal Chief Acknowledgement Ceremony. Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga hosted the Tribal Chief, and Tonga Loa hosted the Tribal Chief Acknowledgement Ceremony. demanding that Roman Reigns acknowledge Solo as the new tribal chief. Reigns refused, challenging Solo to a one-on-one match, but Solo instead proposed a War Games battle. The Usos and Sami Zayn eventually joined Reigns, leading to a wild brawl where Zayn had to choose between kicking Roman or Solo, and boom! Symbolically sided with the original Bloodline by kicking Solo with the haluva kick in the ring. The show ended finally, and if you're on the TikTok, you might see this because I recorded a video of me reacting to it. Jay, one hand up with his finger up in the air. Jimmy, one hand up with his finger up in the air, and Sami gets right in Roman's face and lifts a finger in front of him. And Roman, you see it on his face, the pause, he looks around, he looks at Sami, there's a subtle little nod, and then Reigns' hand and his finger goes up as well. And we've got the original Bloodline back together for War Games, as predicted 12 episodes ago on the Burning Truth podcast. War Games is going to be incredible.
Definitely.
Bloodline versus Floodline. It's happening.
It's happening.
And that is this week's Raw and SmackDown.
That it was.
Let's have a break.
Let's have a break. But in the meantime, do we need to get anything prepared for the next segment, or?
Well, normally this is where we get a shovel, Matt Burns, but instead of a shovel, I want you to get your pen and pad because it's time for the big debate. Hello, friends. Are you enjoying the Burning Truth Live so far? Well, I hope you are, because we're working bloody hard to make it as good as we can. But what we need is your help. And we need your help by subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review. You do not know how much it will help the podcast if you can do that for us. It'll help us spread the word, help us grow the community, and more than anything, it'll help us keep providing amazing wrestling content like we are right now. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get back to the show. But please, please, please rate and review and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
It's the heavyweight debate. Who's the best in the wrestling world and all the rest? From pile drivers to a high-flying spot, Matt and Scott debate the lot.
This year has been nothing short of incredible for Liv Morgan. 2024 saw her reach new heights in the WWE with achievements that have kept fans talking. Early in the year, Liv Morgan kicked off her Revenge Tour storyline, where she aligned with Dominic Mysterio, leading to some intense and memorable battles with Rhea Ripley. Their feud was a standout for its emotional depth and Liv's relentless pursuit of revenge. Then, in a groundbreaking moment at WWE Crown Jewel, Liv Morgan became the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel champion, solidifying her place as one of WWE's top stars. Beyond her in-ring success, Liv's popularity and connection with fans have made her a hot topic. But with all her achievements, the question remains for the big debate: is Liv Morgan really WWE's MVP of 2024?
I have doubts on that. I have some serious doubts of that.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I can't look past Liv Morgan this year. We were actually talking yesterday, weren't we, about what the end of year awards looks like for TBT, for the Burning Truth. And the one person that I thought this is going to be a sure thing was Liv Morgan.
Ooh, I've got doubt. I've got arguments for that one, because bear in mind we've got others like Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
Because she's been an absolute standout, dominating the actual women's division and everything.
Yeah.
But we've got many points for and against. Now the question is how are we going to break this down? Are we going to have you just throw out all the fours and throw it and me do the counteract, or are we going to be taking turns?
Let's take a few turns. Go on. Let's talk it through. I'll let you start with a reason against. I suppose for me, I'm interested because I can't think of any against.
Any against? So nothing like injury-related absences and inconsistency, like when she had the arm injury that kept her out for several months in 2023, and then some argue that the hiatus affected her momentum, despite her return, and then inconsistency caused by her injuries may detract from her MVP status in comparison to other superstars with a stronger track record of consistent appearances. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, but I think, when I think about it, I think about Liv becoming, I said it before, but I'll say it again, the first ever women's crown jewel champion. Defeated Nia Jax, champion versus champion, made history. It is history, whether we like to admit it or not. Added to an impressive list of accomplishments already. The victories underscored a place really at the top of the women's division for me. And I think many fans see her as a true fighting champion because she defends the title a lot. But equally, when we're talking about accomplishments, this isn't just somebody who's won the Crown Jewel Championship. This is somebody that's beat Rhea Ripley at consecutive pay-per-views this year. This is someone that won her first title by beating Ronda Rousey, right? This is somebody that they are giving more TV time than any other woman in the WWE right now.
Right.
You can't argue that. She gets more TV time in the Judgment Day storyline than any other woman in WWE right now. And that's why I think absolutely she's WWE's MVP.
No, I don't, because comparative star power, the fact that yes, she has had an impressive year, but compared to superstars like Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and everything, top stars and everything, with continuous main event storylines, bigger moments in the ring, their sustained dominance can overshadow her achievements while discussing the overall MVP of WWE. But bear in mind the fact that you've also got Rhea Ripley, who had an absolute dominating year with the women's, with her championship reign, where it looked like nobody was going to be beating her cleanly. You notice that I said that?
But she did get beat by none other than Liv Morgan. And I get what you're saying about Cody and Roman, right? Let's take Roman out of the conversation because he's not there every week. He's not on television consistently, right? So Let's take him out of the question. Let's then answer your second point, which was Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Cody Rhodes absolutely is 2024's John Cena, right?
Yeah.
He is the guy who's main eventing all the house shows. He's making all the appearances. He is WWE's top star right now with absolutely no ifs, buts, or coconuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, big but, fans do recognise his championship reign has been a bit of a letdown so far. That's the overall thought process. And you can't say that about Liv Morgan's championship reign so far. The Revenge Tour storyline in itself has been a highlight, particularly the intense rivalry of Rhea Ripley that I mentioned before. The alliance with Dom has allowed her to showcase versatility, her ability to adapt to different narratives and roles. Her performance in the storyline has resonated with fans, and it shows that she's really capable of carrying a compelling long-term storyline, just like your Roman Reigns, your Rhea Ripley's, your Cody Rhodes. And I'm going to move on to my next point now before you come back, Matt Burns, because it's related and it's important, is that Liv Morgan, as a heel, has become a fan favourite, not only due to the storylines, but because of her relatability and the unique style that she's got. She's a top seller for merch currently. She's showing that her appeal transcends just the ring. Popularity is evident across all the social media channels. The reason we're talking about her today specifically is because she is absolutely popping all over social media, and where she's consistently engaging a fan base and is being influential over the WWE fans, not just the Liv Morgan fans, but the WWE fans as a whole.
I just feel as though that's just the fact that she's just linked with Dirty Dom, who I think's a real MVP. But that's just my own. That's just my personal view. I just feel as though Dirty Dom is the real MVP right now. Because bear in mind, week in, week out, his facial expressions top notch. Whenever he needs to make the save, the save for any match, he's there. He's always there. Whenever it comes to a segment where someone needs to just get the camera just for him to do a certain look, just he's been taking some acting classes. We know it. We know he has.
1000%. I think resilience in the face of adversity is probably the last thing. So this is you mentioned it before, the arm injury in 2023, right?
Yep.
All that other stuff, she bounces back stronger every single time. She's undoubtedly made a mark in WWE this year. Does that make her the MVP? I'm not sure.
No, the thing is, if you're going to be the MVP, you've got to be all round, as in you've got to be able to look the part, be able to speak the part, walk and talk, but at the same time, you've also got to be able to act the part in the ring. And I feel as though, yes, while she is a strong character and a great storyteller, her in-ring hasn't reached the same level as her, it hasn't reached iconic status yet. Unlike other superstars who have had highly acclaimed matches, Liv hasn't yet to deliver a match that is considered a must-watch classic by fans or
She hasn't
critics
had the
alike.
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair WrestleMania main event yet, has she?
Yeah, she hasn't yet. Until she might get overshadowed because of that. And what doesn't exactly help is I understand that they're trying their best to get her finisher over. It's not that she needs to change her finish. She needs to change her finish sooner rather than later because I don't think the Oblivion. It just doesn't feel like it's something that can be hit on everybody.
I would maybe look at changing it to a frog splash myself just because of the Dirty Dom connection. But
Yep.
With that being said, there you have it. The highs and lows of Liv Morgan's journey so far. She's undoubtedly made her mark in WWE, but does that make her the company's MVP for 2024? Or do her challenges and the challenges that she's got, the presence and the other dominant stars keep her from reaching that title? What do you, our listeners, think? Let us know. We'd love to hear where you stand in the debate because it's not me and Matt Burns that are going to give the answer here. It's you guys. So we're going to put a poll up on our YouTube the day this podcast goes live. And I would like you to log over on our YouTube channel at The Burning Truth 251. I would like you to hit the community button and then answer the poll. Liv Morgan, is she WWE's MVP for 2024? We're interested in what you think.
And that right now, I would say was, that was a good debate.
Not bad for our first big debate.
Not bad.
Matt Burns, let's do the top three.
Do the top three!
Do you love NXT?
Yeah.
Do you hate that we don't talk about it on the podcast?
Hell yeah, what's up with that?
Well, you can catch all the NXT action live on our YouTube streams every week if you subscribe at The Burning Truth 251 on YouTube and listen to me, Scott, and I'm talking all things NXT every week on a Wednesday. See you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to do the top three! The top three! The top three.
Do the top three, absolutely. So this week it's my turn to be top three'd. And Matt Burns, what is my category? And I'll give you my top three of whatever you say, starting at 3, then we're giving you a 2, and then giving you my favourite of that category. What is my category? How many times can I say category?
Oh, what's that all about?
Oh,
Just as
okay.
a small hint. But anyway, seeing as we seem to be driven down to a certain country, very very driven into this one country, I will say, a part of me just wants us to find out from yourself your top 3 Canadian wrestlers.
Ooh, top 3 Canadians. Okay. Top 3 Canadian wrestlers. Well, the first one is, well, he's definitely not from Ontario. He's from Winnipeg, you idiot. And my number 3 is Chris Jericho, right? The ultimate example of a wrestler who knows how to stay relevant. The first ever WWE Undisputed Champion, reinvented himself with the list, Le Champion. Great work in AEW, although I've seen very little of it. He's always managed to stay fresh and entertaining. That's what I like about Chris Jericho. He's been there for wrestling fans over the last 2 decades, and he always delivers. Right, he's like the postman.
Yeah.
Whether he's cutting a killer promo or putting on a great match, I don't think you can look past Jericho as one of the best exports of Canada in the last 30 years. I think Jericho, for me, definitely is my number 3. My number 2 is Owen Hart, right? Yeah, he's definitely my number 2. I would never say Bret Hart because I hate him. I'm not a big fan of Bret Hart. I don't hate's a strong word. I don't like Bret Hart at all, right?
You dislike him?
I strongly dislike Bret Hart. I don't think he is as good as everybody makes out he is. I don't ever think he was as over as he thought he was. And Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of Bret Hart at all. I think he's a whiner as well. As time goes on, I think he's hurting his own legacy by being a right crybaby and a bit of a whinge bag. Let's call him a whinge bag. So yeah, not a fan of Bret Hart. Owen Hart, on the other hand, legacy that's not impossible to respect. That is impossible not to respect. Known for his technical ability, his charisma. He definitely had the it factor, Matt Burns, which I think made fans love him.
Yeah, not only that, he didn't just do a little bit of work. He sort of learned his craft not only doing little bits. I believe he was wrestling in the UK, wrestling the British style. He went over to Mexico to learn the Mexican style and everything. He sort of molded himself around a mixture of different styles, so he didn't just learn one technique.
And in his younger days, he was a high flyer before high flying was a thing. Some unforgettable feuds as well, especially with Bret, to be fair to him. Set him apart as a talent that could deliver every single time he stepped into the ring. He was probably towards the end of his career, and I know it was cut short or under horrific circumstances, but he was probably hurt long term by how good he was, similar to Dolph Ziggler, where they were that good he was starting to be used as a utility guy. The tag team with Jeff Jarrett, wrestling as the Blue Blazer, they were just giving him stuff to get other people over as opposed to putting him over. So for me, Owen Hart, absolutely, sadly taken from wrestling way too soon, but definitely left a lasting mark on fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Also, my favourite wrestling gear ever was the Owen Hart Danger gear, which I know inspired Matt the Hammer Burns' yellow gear as well.
Well, you definitely know I've got a lot of love for Owen Hart, definitely, and I feel as though he should be at the very least if we ever decide to do champion, people who never won the big championships.
Yeah,
he's definitely on the list.
Yeah, and then number one for me, Matt Burns. I don't know whether this is obvious or not, and if his return hadn't happened in 2019, he wouldn't have been in my top three. But it was a moment, right? So Edge is my number one Canadian wrestler, and the comeback story that every wrestling fan loves. So he redefined what tag team wrestling was in the early 2000s with Christian, Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, revolutionising with those unforgettable ladder matches and then TLC matches. And then the solo career that really made him a legend. I think 11 world championships, countless rivalries, grit, the spear, and fans never got tired of him, I don't think. When he came back in 2020 actually at the Rumble, not 2019, it was 2020 at the Rumble. Fans went crazy for him in the Rumble.
Oh, definitely. You had full-blown adults in tears of joy for him come back, and you can even hear the quiver in the commentator's voice as his music's playing. What?
Yeah, fans are right there with him, rooting for the guy who beat the odds, proving he is the best Canadian wrestler ever in my mind. And I think back to when I went to the first Clash at the Castle pay-per-view in Cardiff, and when Edge's music hit, it was a moment. It was a shared experience for everyone who was in the arena that night. And if you were there, you know. And if you weren't, you might not do. But when Edge's music hit, there was just like such a sense of togetherness in Cardiff at the Millennium Stadium. Not sure what they call it now, the Principality maybe. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal moment. And that's why, for me, personally, Edge is probably my favourite Canadian wrestler. So there you go, Matt Burns. Just to confirm, my top three Canadian wrestlers. Number 3, Chris Jericho. Number 2, Owen Hart. And number 1, Edge.
Definitely. And the weird thing about it is that's a good, solid 3 that is there. Some people might have differences of opinion. Some might have Bret Hart on there. Some might have some individuals who shall not be named, and others may even have.
Yeah, I was never going to go there.
Yeah. And some could even have some other wrestlers from other companies with a unique finisher, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's not unique anymore. Everybody does the Canadian now.
Pretty much. But at the time when he first arrived, it was unique. But he still does have unique ways of getting into that move still.
1000%. And that was my top 3. Matt, I don't know if you've still got the book and the pen over there.
Yeah, I've still got it. Don't worry. I've already got. It's already in hand.
Good, because it's time for Matt Burns to rebook this.
trust in these guys with the book. It's Rebook this, loud strong. It's Rebook this, take a shot. It's Rebook this, Rebook this.
And it is now time for Rebook This. Rebook This. Who gave us the book? It is time for Matt Burns to rebook a storyline or angle that I've decided that I think he could do better. So Matt Burns is going to take a bit of time now to rebook. Are you ready? Drum roll. To rebook Kurt Angle's return and WWE retirement. So, yeah, definitely something to chew on there, Matt Burns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you take it away.
Pretty much. Because I'm just trying to remember exactly when it was he returned off the top of my head. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head when he returned. But either way.
You've got Google. Feel free to use Google.
The return of Kurt Angle. Right, I'm looking it off. Return of Kurt Angle. I'm just trying to remember when it was. It was 2017, wasn't it? After the 11-year absence. Yeah, that was it. Because he was during when he returned as the general manager of Raw.
Correct. Went in the Hall of Fame, didn't he? And then the next night became the general manager.
Yeah, right. Let's stick to that, shall we? Let's stick to it. We'll have him come back 2017, and after his 11-year absence, we'll have him still doing the whole general manager thing and everything.
Okay.
But instead of it being one individual upsetting him, we'll actually have it so instead of it just being Baron Corbin being a pain in the backside and everything, we'll still have Baron Corbin being a pain in the backside, trying to get him to quit his job and everything, but we'll have other individuals saying they're not happy under the regime of Kurt Angle. They don't feel safe and everything, and it's like, well, what we're going to do here and everything. So we'll have Baron Corbin still pressing the buttons, but at the same time, we'll sort of have it so eventually the authority have to get involved because Kurt starts throwing his weight around at Baron Corbin saying, you can't be doing this, you should be doing this and everything. It's like, well, you can't be doing this. Well, I can do this under this bylaw. I can put you in a match and have you doing this.
Right,
and have him feuding with Baron Corbin for a bit. But instead of having the actual end feud, because I will say, for the Baron Corbin feud, the one segment I've got to keep in, and I've still got to keep it in, is what was it? The Dos?
The Conquistadors.
Yes, when he caught off Baron Corbin with that, if you remember.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant, but instead, as we're leading up to it and everything, instead we'll have it so he injures Baron Corbin instead right before WrestleMania, right? But instead of the authority eventually, because it's short notice, Kurt Angle decides and just goes, right, I've been given up by higher management to throw down an open challenge. Right, so instead of it just being right before WrestleMania, he injured him, a few weeks beforehand, inadvertently, because, went a bit too far. So instead, he starts handing out open challenges because he's like, I want somebody at WrestleMania. I want somebody who can show me something to take me out.
Okay.
Right? Each week, they'll have somebody come in, I'll take you on. No. Kurt Angle knocks him down.
Yeah.
It could be like a job or something originally, just a regular job. It's like, and then all of a sudden, he's like, I've had enough of this. Why is this not working? I've done, this is not, and just before, as we're leading up, we'll give it to about 2 weeks before WrestleMania.
Okay.
About 2 weeks. He comes out and Kurt Angle's dismayed. He's like, can somebody please just come out and show me some ruthless aggression for once? And
Yeah.
immediately, the iconic tune of, oh wait, no. We'll have Vince McMahon coming out instead.
Oh, you teased me then.
We'll have Vince McMahon coming out and sit there saying, "Did I hear you correctly there, Kurt? Did I hear you correctly? You're using my line of ruthless aggression. You want ruthless aggression? You're gonna have it because I've been on the phone from somebody who's been very busy with Hollywood lately."
Okay.
And all of a sudden, and just to meet you, he's agreed to be here tonight. Then the iconic music hits of John Cena comes running down to the ring
Yeah.
and literally just sit there saying, "You wanted ruthless aggression," sort of, a bit of harping
Playing back
back,
to that debut.
playing back to that debut, but instead, Kurt takes the swing straight away immediately at Cena.
Nice.
Sort of, as Cena, even though Cena was the one is saying you wanted ruthless aggression, Kurt unloads ruthless aggression onto Cena, viciously attacking him, and sort of, going back and forth. But this is more of a brawl and everything. But, we have to have people come down, split them apart. And straight away there, immediately as they're being separated, the fans are going to be like, they want to fight, they want to see this match right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And Vince McMahon just goes, no, we're not doing it here tonight. We're doing it at WrestleMania.
Oh, nice. So instead of the Baron Corbin Kurt Angle match, we're getting Cena versus Angle.
But Vince throws in a twist of his own.
Oh, okay.
And this is a twist that not even Cena even knew about or even liked himself.
Okay.
Which Vince turns around and just says, "Because I've had trouble with both of you, you've been an absolute pain in the backside with upper management and with the authority.
Yeah.
I've decreed that WrestleMania is going to be the last match for one of you." So officially, Vince McMahon makes it whoever loses
Retires.
retires.
Fantastic. Yeah, get that.
So then you've got even Cena looking at Vince just going, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah, yeah.
And then Cena turns around and says, "Well, just as a precaution and a bit of a teaser, next week, seeing as you've got a lot of pent-up aggression, why don't we have you pair tagging with each other against a team?"
Right, okay. So then you get the tag match as well.
Yeah. The week before,
Yeah.
probably throw in, for against the WWE Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Now, most people sit there and think I'm going to go down the route of, oh, they actually earned the Tag Team Champions and
Yeah.
it's going to be devastating. Nope.
You're going to have them not be able to coexist.
I'm going to have it where, just as when you think they're going to win, Kurt Angle decides he wants to stay in the business
Oh, wow.
and sort of cheap shot Cena from behind and sort of causes the loss.
Got you.
Causes the loss by literally cheap shotting and taking the advantage because he wants to get one up on Cena and use any exploits he can for when it comes to WrestleMania the week after or that weekend. As you can imagine, we then get to the match itself, and as we get to the match itself, we've got Kurt Angle sort of coming out doing his usual blaze of usual thing sort of,
Yeah.
and you got Cena. Cena does a bit of a mind game on him at WrestleMania. He decides to drop his normal wrestling attire and puts on the exact same attire he wore when he wrestled Kurt Angle for the first time.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's cool.
Have him come down and have it where they're wrestling each other. And we have it so it's very similar to that very first match. When Kurt gets that original sneaky roll up on Cena, just he goes 1, 2, I've got you, kick out just before the 3. No, it weren't that one time. It's like different story now, boy. It's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
and eventually it'll eventually lead up to a big crescendo, because we have Kurt and Cena going back and forth. Cena, we get angle slams, we get ankle locks, we get STS, we get attitude adjustments, but they
Yeah.
all don't get the job done. They're not getting the job done.
Right.
Eventually, we end up having to go up to the top rope. They're both fighting for position, jockeying for position, and
Yeah.
eventually we have a move that comes flying off the top rope, which is none other than an avalanche attitude adjustment.
Nice.
Immediately for the pin, the 1, 2, but as he's pinning him, you've got Cena literally saying, "I'm sorry," basically, just as he slams it, he just goes, "I don't want you to lose your career, but I've got to."
Yeah, it's like a
This is
Ric
my
Flair,
home.
Shawn Michaels moment.
Yeah, sort of thing. He appreciates that it was Kurt that gave him that first break,
Yeah.
and now he's sort of sending off Kurt Angle into out of
Retirement.
WWE,
Yeah.
into retirement. I will always remember you, as he pins him.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. After the match, it looks like Kurt Angle's about to blow a gasket, and instead he doesn't. He literally just walks over and hugs John Cena and just goes, "That's what I was after.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what I was after. This is what I was after. I didn't want to sort of have just any WrestleMania match. I wanted to have this WrestleMania match."
Yeah, it's good. It's good, Matt Baines. It's good. It's good. I don't know what the people at home thought. Maybe we'll figure that out when the podcast goes out. But I think for me, you can give Matt Baines a review on TikTok, on Twitter at TBT Live UK. In the comments, if you're watching on YouTube, you can send us an email, info@theburningtruthuk.com, or you can leave a comment on Spotify, Spreaker, and anywhere else you get your podcasts as a review.
Yeah, solid.
I think, Matt Baines, that was one of your better Rebook this is. And I think it's maybe 4 out of 5 bangers. Might be. I would like to know what everybody else thought, but I thought, that emotional moment finishing with John Cena, Kurt Angle, and, Kurt and John reenacting that first match, but upping the ante. I thought that was really clever. And yeah, I think if you would like us to rebook something specific, then please let us know in the comments or on any of those places that I just mentioned, and we will have a look at rebooking, because next week, Matt Baines, it's my turn again, yeah?
Can't wait.
Oh, do you know what? I feel the pressure when it comes around to my turn, because you do them so well, and then when it gets to me, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to top that.
Although, no. Don't you dare disrespect yourself. You have done some absolute pearlers, and you have created some magical moments. But anyway, I'll send you, the pad and pen, send it over for you immediately.
Yeah, hopefully next week we can get back in the same room, Matt Baines.
Hopefully for that. So with that, this has been Rebook This.
Boss.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of The Burning Truth Live. Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you've had as much fun listening to us as we have had recording it.
If you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Twitter at TBT Live UK, Instagram at The Burning Truth, and on Facebook at The Burning Truth. You can also listen to all our episodes and our NXT Live reactions on the YouTube at The Burning Truth 251 or on TikTok at The Burning Truth 251. Got any questions or ideas, you can drop us an email, info@theburningtruthuk.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps spread the word, and it's cracking for the algorithm, yeah? And check out our website, theburningtruthuk.com, for more updates and those all-important blogs.
But of course, until next time, stay positive, keep enjoying the wrestling, and we will catch you on the next episode of The Burning Truth Live!
Excelsior!
Psst, it's Scott. Did you rate and review the podcast yet? Cheers.